Tonight, stay safe, the annual road safety warning as we prepare for the Easter break. And sorry, we're full. Port Lincoln accommodation fully booked out.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening, but first tonight, the Broken Hill Footy League says they have zero tolerance when it comes to racial abuse following an incident at a game on the weekend. A group of spectators were heard during the match between North and Central allegedly hurling abuse at two Indigenous players, and the league says it's completely unacceptable.
Whether you're a coach, player, trainer or spectator, there's a code of conduct you follow when you come through the gates at the local footy.
We'll actually ban people from attending the games because people who play footy, as I said, be passionate, barrack for your club, have a crack at the opposition. That's fine, but we don't want racist, homophobic vilification.
While the Bulldogs and Central clashed at the Jube on Saturday, off the field things got fiery. Some spectators were heard hurling racial abuse towards two Indigenous Central players. While the players themselves didn't hear the vilification, the incident was reported by a bystander.
Realistically, in 2017, people who go to the football and direct comments over the fence based on a racial agenda, they're either dumb, uneducated, or they're from another era. Those days are gone.
There were also reports of homophobic remarks directed at one of the game's umpires. Mr Schmidt says local leagues are struggling for goal, boundary and field umpires, and this sort of behaviour doesn't help.
The umpire I spoke to didn't hear the homophobic comments. He did say to me, though, look, the comments that were suggested to us, that were delivered to him, is something he hears basically on a weekly basis.
All four clubs have been contacted by the league and have been told to police their supporters to make sure nothing like this happens again.
Now, there's nothing wrong with good-natured barracking, smart barracking, passionate barracking, but to vilify or abuse, again, that sort of, those sort of comments belong to a bygone era. They're not going to happen in 2017 in Broken Hill football.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
The Easter break is one of the busiest times on our regional roads, and authorities are warning the public to be patient this long weekend. Police will be out in force targeting those who ignore the road rules.
Just like Easter eggs, lives are fragile, and the Motor Accident Commission has a strong message this Easter.
We know that we can achieve a fatality-free long weekend. We did that a couple of years ago and we want to see that again this year.
Over the past 5 years, 8 people have died on the roads in SA over the Easter break, and many others injured.
A simple mistake, travelling on our regional roads at around 100 k's an hour, even if you're not speeding, you're not drink driving, that simple mistake can be absolutely devastating.
And just like the Motor Accident Commission, police in our region are gearing up for a busy long weekend.
The York Peninsula and the Clare Valley are good tourist destinations. They swell this time of the year because of their natural beauty and attractions.
Police are urging motorists to plan their trip and arrive alive.
They're going to experience heavy traffic, a lot of caravans and trailers and boats and things like that.
While many others will be enjoying the Easter break, the police will be out in force. Extra help will be brought to the region to help control the extra traffic and make sure we get to our holidays and then back home again, safe and sound.
Besides the local patrols, which will be out in force, there's extra resources coming up from Adelaide. Specialised traffic units will be in the area.
Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
And Port Lincoln is about to swell to full capacity this Easter weekend, with every hotel and motel in town fully booked out. The caravan and tourist parks are also tipping over to 100% occupancy, making it the busiest Easter weekend in recent memory.
Sorry, we're full. Other words being echoed around town from hotels and caravan parks throughout Port Lincoln.
It's fully booked at the tourist park. We have been for a while. And normally we've even got the unpowered sites, but we're fully booked there as well.
Accommodation over the Easter long weekend has hit bumper capacity, with people being turned away.
I hear a lot of people across the town and holiday accommodation have been fully booked for a while.
It's the first time in recent history the town will hit 100% occupancy, but for a lucky few, there's still a chance to score a room.
We do expect to be full on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. A little bit of a drop-off on Monday, but certainly few rooms left to sell, so if anyone wants to get in, they need to book now.
The swell in numbers brought on by plenty of Easter activities, including the Tikal Auto Sprint, with 9,000 visitors expected across Saturday and Sunday.
The weather's looking stunning, so it should be a good showcase of what Lincoln has to offer. A lot of people camping as well, here for the shark dives, here for the streetcar race.
With numbers in the town about to burst, Good Friday closures present a hiccup, but there will be a few places still trading.
With a lot of people coming into town, it's important for somewhere for them to dine. So yeah, breakfast, lunch and dinner, we're open and we're all staffed up, ready to go.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
And away from the holidays and chocolate, Easter is the most sacred time of the year for the Christian faith, while as Christian leaders say we should focus on family and remembering those suffering over in the Middle East.
For many, Easter is about time off work and an overindulgence on chocolate eggs. But for the billions of Christians worldwide, it's a most sacred time. While as Christian churches are getting ready to mark Easter, an event they say is central to their faith.
Easter makes us sort of look to the future with hope that something good will come out of this, that God hasn't abandoned us.
It's central to our beliefs. The pathway to God is through the cross of Jesus Christ.
Catholics begin tonight with an Easter Thursday Mass, in which the congregation will bring forward food donations for the less fortunate. Father Monahan says with many Weiler families struggling to make ends meet, local parishioners are still generously donating.
It's incumbent on us to, as Christians, to share what we have with the poor, and people across Whyalla are so generous with that, and we'll bring some of these gifts up in our Mass tonight.
This year's festivities are shadowed by an attack on Coptic Christians in Egypt and the horrific refugee crisis in Syria. Father Monahan says we should use the long weekend to reflect on the fortune we have to live in a free and stable Australia.
Not just Christians, there are Muslim people and people of other faiths who are suffering as well. We try and be at one with all of those people who are going through such a terrible time.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, some major jetty repairs after years of neglect. The details ahead. Welcome back. Repower Port Augusta is urging locals to put their name on the push for solar thermal in the region. The group is preparing a petition which will be delivered to the government in Adelaide at the end of the month. So far they've got around 5,000 signatures and are hoping up to 1,000 people will join them to march on Parliament House on April 30th. For more information, head to our Facebook page. The Port Lincoln Tourist Park jetty has received a $70,000 upgrade after falling into disrepair over the last decade. The jetty, which is popular amongst tourists and a magnet for local anglers, was almost on the brink of being worn away.
Back to her best. The Port Lincoln Tourist Park jetty receiving some much needed attention after being neglected for years.
The jetty was starting to be undermined and eroded and was in quite a dangerous state. So for the last year or so we've been updating it and upgrading it and making it safe and making it suitable for the users.
The location popular with visitors to the region and anglers amongst the community.
The jetty is a public asset, it's a council asset, it's on the Pancala Trail and is used by not just people from the tourist park but the community as well.
The $70,000 upgrade was divided between the council and the park owners, all too happy to help lend a hand.
The Sarin Group, who have the long-term lease on the tourist park, have given us a third of the cost of the upgrade because we know it's a valuable community asset, but it's also of value to the Port Lincoln Tourist Park.
The reconstruction of the jetty making use of the latest technology to help withstand the rigours of the coastal environment.
Underneath those rocks there's a geofabric that will stop the intrusion of the water or the wave action. The rocks actually take the wave energy out so that the erosion shouldn't be a problem in the years to come.
The Mayor ready to put good use to the restored facilities.
A grey day like today, squid would be on the menu.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
The runway at Cadenas Airport will be transformed into a racetrack at the end of the month for the Copper Coast 500 Sprints. The major event attracts rev heads from all over the state who will participate in a time-trialled sprint race.
The sound of the roaring engine is music to the ears of racegoers, and that sound will be blasted at the Kadina Airport in just a few weeks.
We get up to 50 cars, any sports or high performance car. We have them out here and we do 500 metre time sprints on the airport runway.
The cars will race from one end of the runway to the other, and all money raised on the day will go towards local organisations.
It benefits the Leukemia Foundation in South Australia, the Royal Flying Doctor Service, the Kadina CFS, the Wallaroo Lions, and of course the Aero Club, where we have this particular function.
Past participants say it's a great opportunity to safely test the limits of their vehicles.
It's a great opportunity to get the rev heads maybe off the road and into a venue where you can actually test your car and have some fun.
The Fun-Filled Day will be on April 30 and organisers are expecting around 1,000 people.
The people just like to see different classic cars and how they're built up and what's been done to them, and talk to the drivers and find out, why you started and how you developed it.
And this year the public will be treated to a visit from a rare Lamborghini travelling from Western Australia.
This Lamborghini that's coming in the 500 metres, he's probably likely to be doing, 250 Ks.
In Kadina, Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
An iron ore project 150 kilometres west of Broken Hill has been put on a fast-track plan. Mining company Magnetite Mines says they intend to merge with another company which owns a large stretch of high-grade iron ore near Uluru.
A merge with Lodestone Equities could mean great things for the region and the local economy. The merge would see Magnetite Mines take control of the O'Leary project and then set to work on extracting the high-grade ore which Lodestone currently owns.
This fast-track project allows us to get our product into the steel markets quicker, and by doing this it also generates quite a reasonable profit, and some of that profit can go to continuing the feasibility study for the larger project at Razorback.
The Razorback project is Magnetite's flagship project, also known as the Horse and Iron project. The larger project has a proposed output of 25 million tonnes a year. Mr Williamson met with a number of service providers in Broken Hill and has begun talks with rail operators in SA.
We're looking at services and transport providers with a project close to O'Leary. We're looking at the feasibility to draw from the local employees and also maybe bring some people to town.
The ore would be mined and processed on site and then transported to a floating port off the coast of the Spencer Gulf near Port Germain using the existing rail network. At the height of construction in O'Leary, over 100 jobs could be created.
With the type of plant that we operate, it's similar to the milling and crushing plants that are around this area. So definitely looking to draw on experienced people from around here.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. When we return after the break, the finishing touches put in place ahead of the weekend's Unearth Festival in Whyalla. The details ahead. Welcome back. Whyalla's Ada Ryan Gardens is being transformed into a mini garden of unearthly delights ahead of the weekend's Unearth Festival. Council says residents will not only be surprised at the quality of acts, but also the quality of the gardens come tomorrow night.
From midday tomorrow, Ada Ryan Gardens will be a hive of art and culture as acts from across Whyalla and Australia perform in the Unearth Festival. Council was busy this morning, transforming the area into our own version of Adelaide's Rymel Park.
It's just a beautiful spot down in the Ada Ryan Gardens, so we've got a nice big lighting setup going in, so tonight when the lights go out on Friday and Saturday, it's just going to be spectacular. People won't even recognise the area, I'm sure.
Tomorrow will feature a number of Adelaide fringe acts, including cabaret star Anya Anastasia and children's entertainer Mr Oopie. Then on Saturday, the festival will focus on local acts. Unearth is also promising to be interactive.
Ukulele workshop, we've got a circus workshop as well, so people can come down and really get involved with the artists when they're holding their workshops.
Unearth is replacing the time-honoured Snapper Championship, and there'll be scrutiny as to whether it can match its popularity.
Such a great program that we've put together, and it's just something different, and there really is something for everybody, so we're really looking forward to seeing what people like, what they don't like.
John Hunt, Southern Cross News.
Broken Hill locals and tourists are being encouraged to shop around when it comes to filling up their tank. The RAA says you could save up to 5 cents a litre by moving off the barrier highway and finding other outlets. Regional fuel retailers have been urged to lower prices during Easter after a run of high prices in the past month. Well, if you plan to cast a line out over the Easter break, here's this week's fishing tips.
Welcome to another week around the Gulf Fishing Tips. Jurassic Park, we've heard of it many times, but at the moment the snapper are absolutely going off there. So if you want to have a go, by all means get out there. But don't forget, they've usually got a resident shark. That's a nice big thing. Now, yellowfin whiting, they're all along the Talawi, Chinamans and all that sort of stuff. Plenty of people camping out there, so do be respectful for people who are in that area also. Blue swimmer crab are tailing off, but you can still get a feed. But just look for those rugger fish that we're getting around the creeks. There's still plenty of rugger snapper. And if you want to go for big squid, there is squid out there at the moment, but if you want to go for big squid, Eastern Shoal's your tip. Have a safe Easter and respect the others you're fishing with.
G'day and welcome to this week's fishing tips from Port Augusta, Jewel of the North for Easter. Well, there is a school of kingfish down around the powerhouse, and there's also been some flathead along the front of the shacks there too at night. But we've got our kids here and they're going to give us some special tips.
There's crabs down the deep. There's squid in the south.
So there you have it. It's over to Whyalla.
Hi everyone, welcome to Whyalla's Fishing Report this week. There's been some good numbers of King George whiting moving into the town. Many of them have been undersized, but if you pick through them you can find the better fish. The better areas to target have been over towards the Santos and Point Lowly areas. Just stay outside those Santos exclusion zones. There's still plenty of blue swimmer crabs coming from most of the boaties, from most areas out of town. The best areas have definitely been down towards Mount Young, and also some really good numbers of squid starting to move in around the same area. For the land-based fishers, once again Point Lowly and over towards Becky Point starting to produce some good sized salmon and also lots of snook amongst them as well.
G'day and welcome to Fishing Tips in Port Lincoln. Locally in the bay there's been a few salmon, especially around the main wharf. Squid aren't too bad in the bay at the moment. Usual spots up along the North Shore, out around Boston Island and also in the proper. Whiting are a bit patchy in the bay at the moment, but they're starting to move in. Better whiting catches have come from Louth Bay. Out wide of Port Lincoln, the best tuna catches have come from the Cabbage Patch. There's also been some nanagai on the lumps wide of Williams Island as well. So it's going to be fantastic weather and good tides this weekend over Easter, so get out there and try and get some fish.
Well, stay with us after the break. We'll have a look at the long weekend weather forecast. Welcome back. Turning to the weather now, but first tonight's weather photos sent in to us by Diana Meiglich. A lovely snap of Moonta Bay. Those colours are sensational. If you have a weather photo to share, you can email it in to us. A sunny 28 in Port Augusta today with 27 in Whyalla and in Port Pirie. Port Lincoln sunny on 25 with 26 over in Broken Hill today. On the national satellite image, not much in way of cloud, meaning fairly sunny conditions over the break. Out on the waters, the winds to 10 knots into the east, the seas to a metre in southerly, sunrise at 6:40. So looking at the Good Friday forecast, 28 the top for Port Augusta and 25 in Whyalla. Port Lincoln 24 the top and 27 in Port Pirie. Broken Hill 26 the top. Then for the rest of the long weekend, 25 from Saturday right until Monday in Port Lincoln, the same in Cleve, then up to 26 on Monday. Woodner 29 on Saturday, 28 for Sunday, then 29 on Monday again. Whyalla on 27 for Saturday and for Monday, with 26 in between them on Sunday. Port Augusta similar with 29 and 28. Kadina 26 and 25. Port Pirie with 28 for Saturday, then 27 degrees on Sunday, 24 right across the break in Clare, and Broken Hill with 27 on Saturday, 29 degrees for Sunday and for Monday. So no showers for the Easter Bunny, which is good news. Well, that is your local news for this Thursday evening. Have a safe and happy Easter break. Please stay safe on the roads and out on the water. And remember, you cannot have too much chocolate. I think my nan taught me that once, but it's true, isn't it? We'll see you back here on Tuesday night after the break. Until then, I'm Tim Hadfield from the team here at Southern Cross News. Good night.